The anime starts by telling the story of Ard Meteor, a very strong human who people start calling the Demon Lord. So in order to make them realize again that he's a human being just like them, he decides to reborn as a normal guy. In another corner of the city, the Lord came back to life as a small kid and his parents are celebrating his 10th birthday like every year. He starts a journey now of how to be normal and to make friends, but his old personality keeps being a problem, so he feels depressed. He tries again after taking Waze's advice, but his attempts fail again until he hears a sound coming from the jungle. He flies to check things out and finds a wolf that is attacking a young girl named Irina. She suddenly uses her magical powers. While he sees that, once she killed the monster, the boys get closer and ask her to be his friend. She seems to be shy and just runs away. But they meet each other once again at Radha's house, and it turns out that Waze is her father, which makes things much easier. The days goes on and the boy keeps trying every idea that comes to his mind in order to make the girl agrees on their friendship. One day, the village gets attacked by a group of monsters. All the citizens freaked out, and Waze reveals that his girl is missing in the woods and she might be in danger. So Arada promises to protect her and he flies away. The girl was surrounded by monsters. She realizes that she has no chance in front of them, so she gives up and screams asking for help. The boy arrives at that moment and saves her. She appreciates the effort he did and they make a promise to stay friends forever. A couple of years later, Irina suggests joining the Academy of Magic together. At school, the two friends are getting very popular day by day, especially when they come from royal families in their past lives. As all the students try to talk to them, one random boy is busy bullying a young girl named Jenny until Arada and Irina interrupts. The bad boy keeps showing off and invites Arada for a fight. It was confusing because it is forbidden to use any sort of magic in a fight, but Olivia, one of the leaders, gives them the authorization. All the students crowded to watch the battle. The other student did a very weak performance, so Arada won easily after applying 2 spells at the same time, which is something impossible. Olivia starts suspecting his identity, as all the others didn't know that he was a demon lord in his past life. After that, it is time to choose a group for a daily training. Irina and her friend choose the weak girl Jenny to be in their group. The first mission was to defeat the Black Wolves, which are easy for the two ones, and in the middle of the process, the Demon Lord suggests to teach the other girl all the magic methods he knows. He starts explaining all the spells he uses and shows her the details of each one of them. And indeed, the girl gets better and defeats her fears and becomes a strong girl by the end of the day. The change was so impressive. So the headmaster calls him and tries to convince him to participate in a big magic competition, because the school that wins will gain a lot of money. The boy excuses and asks to think about it before accepting to participate. On his way out, he meets Jenny. She invites him to go out in a date. Also, Irina gets invited and they went together to watch her play. It was a kind of boring, so they decide to find a restaurant to fill that empty stomach. While they are walking in the city and discovering the streets, they hear a group of masked guys talking about trapping the queen. The friends decide to follow them down into the sewer, where it turns out to be a trap. The boy insists to know the reason behind kidnapping them, but the leader of the masked guys didn't want to say anything. Then Arada starts by killing the guards. After that, he flies behind the leader who ran away and applies some powerful spells that lead to his death. All the citizens saw how that little boy saved them, so they give him too many hugs. The queen heard about what happened in the city, so she wanted to honor the friends. She calls them to the castle. Arda takes advantage of the situation he's in and asks to upgrade his school's fortune in order to stay away from that competition. The queen agrees, and in addition, she upgrades their rank. The headmaster this time decides to make the boy teach the other student instead of learning, because he already has enough knowledge for that. But the issue is how to convince the other teachers. Jessica agrees to take in charge of this mission. On the other side, Jenny and Irina feels jealous about seeing how the girls outside try to attract Arada, and they start fighting each other after knowing how they both feel about him. And when Jessie heard their discussion, she tells them that if they really like that boy, then they have to participate in the competition and reach the finals. That is the only situation to convince the other teachers that their friend has taught them, and he's very good at doing that. As the competition starts, the girls impress people by using the tricks they learned from their friend, and they reach the finals. It was so exciting to watch them. But before they start fighting, some monsters start destroying the arena. The two girls decide to stay and stop the monsters, while the other teachers left to fight other ones that appeared in other regions of the city. Irina's father is there also, and he protects his daughter by destroying the big monster. But it turns out that Jessica was actually the queen of furious dragons named Elzer. She disguised because she wanted to kidnap Irina, and she did after hurting Jenny. After healing Waze, Arda decides to go after that queen to save his friend. On the other side, the girl wants to know why did that woman kidnap her. So she reveals to her that she knew about her secret, which is that her blood is one of the most precious one and that she hides that secret from her other friends. She brought that little girl to use her in her plan of destroying the world, as she always hated the way it became so peaceful. The plan stands on giving Irina as a bite to a monster in order to make him more powerful. When that almost happened, Ard arrives and stops the process. He fights with all his power, which makes the woman furiously changes herself into a big dragon. At that moment, the fight jumped into another level. Then Ard felt in the obligation to show his true identity as the Demon Lord. They show their best, but no one ever won a battle against the Lord, and the name was enough to prove that. At the end, the two friends knew each other's secrets during the fight, and they decide to stay friends after all. In the next episode, a new story is about to begin, about a young girl named Selphie. She spent 3,000 years in training her body for a war, which ended, and she didn't know because she missed the count. When she came out of the cave where she was, she realizes how did things change, and then a masked boy takes her away and explains all what happened. He also reveals the death of the Demon Lord and his rebirth as a simple guy named Arada. Also, he tells her that he worked with her in the past and that he knows her very well. On the other side, the headmaster calls the team and announces that the school wants to organize a festival and a play, and he invites them to participate. Then he reveals that he received a letter from a guy who named himself the head of the ogre. He was threatening them that he will do something bad to the school. So in addition to their participation, they also ask to protect the students from any possible attack. Later that day, and during the class, Selphie interrupts crazily and starts asking to know who is Arada. She also keeps saying that he's the Demon Lord. Olivia, who always wanted to discover the secret behind the huge power which that boy showed in his past battles, asks them to face each other in a fight. At first, Arada decided to lose in purpose, but as soon as the fight began, he couldn't stop himself and defeated her. The thing which made the girl so angry, so she uses another dangerous method that is totally forbidden to be used in a school. Then Olivia stops her and Irina makes her apologize. And the next day, the festival gets started and the students enjoy every moment of it, while Arada and his friends guard the whole school. Olivia then informs the boy that she added his name to the list of the participants in the competition because she likes the way he fights. The battle gets started on their turn, and Arada can't find a chance to lose in order to avoid fighting Olivia. So all the friends won their fights, including Jenny. Next, Arada finds himself facing Olivia in a sword fight. By accident, he uses a forbidden spell that throws his adversary away. That is why he lost and makes her lose as well. All in all, everything is going perfectly as it was planned, but nothing lasts forever. The masked guy is watching and he hides a bad plan, obviously. Later this day, the actors prepare themselves for the play, which talk about a war that happened between the Demon Lord and other monsters. Arada recalls the true moment of the war and how everything happened that day. Also the effort which Selphie did and also his friends. He's now living the same moment but in a fake way, as it's just a play. As they finish, the students start clapping for them. Suddenly, Selphie sees a girl that looks exactly like her sister Lydia, so she follows her out. There where she meets the masked guy, in a few moments she comes back and it's clear that her behavior changed a lot. Then it's time for the final battle between Selphie and Irina, and like no one could predict, the girl with red hair wins after only one hit. She takes her reward to the central tree of the city, where she waits for Arada to come, as they told already about. While the girls Irina and Jenny are hiding between the trees to see what will happen, Selphie surprises them all when she reveals that she wants to kill the boy, and she waited for that moment. Her eyes turned red also. She uses two swords which belonged to her sister, and it turns out that the masked guy lied to her and played with her ideas by convincing her that the Demon Lord killed her master when she was absent for the training. It was something close to be called a spell. She stabs Arada and makes him bleed while the two other girls try to stop her. Then suddenly, the Demon Lord shows up in his old version. When Selphie sees him like that, her eyes turns back to their natural color and the spell is obviously gone. As she stops fighting, the masked guy appears and shows how disappointed he's feeling about her and decides to hold the sword and to kill the boy by himself. After a couple of hits, the Demon Lord kills his adversary super easily, and from Lydia's sword, a shadow of her comes to talk to Selphie and tells her that she has to live her life as it is and stop looking for revenge. A couple of days later, the three friends are in school trip playing cards when suddenly everything stops and they have been transported to a white place where they meet a young guy who calls himself a lord, and he reveals to them that there is a sort of entity that plans to destroy their world. He asks that he wants them to stop it. Later he transports them to the past where there are two moons, and while they discover the new land, they accidentally meet the old version of Olivia who didn't recognize them, and she takes them to the main city. She suggests for them later to join the army as the community is facing some problems and attacks from the outside. After accepting the offer, they meet Verda, the greatest magician and scientist of that time, and they explain the situation to her, so she accepts helping them to find a solution to this war that is going to happen. Suddenly, Sylvie and the princess Lydia comes in. She starts flirting with Jenny, the thing which made Ard so angry, so these two ones go out and start fighting till the sun falls down. The boy performed well in front of her, so she invites him to a fight in her side. He agrees and asks her for another favor. He wanted to meet the Demon Lord. Lydia confesses that the Lord agrees to meet the ones who gain his heart only, so he must do something impressive. And the next day, Ard and his friend go out for a battle that is already planned. Everything is normal until a very powerful demon leader comes and starts killing Ard's soldiers. The boy knows that this might be his chance to do something impressive that will allow him to meet the Lord, so he kills him. Then Lydia comes and reveals that they were trying to kill that leader since a long time, so she thanks him for his effort and takes him to meet the Lord. When he starts talking to them, the girls call him the Demon Lord, and that name surprised him, and he reveals that there is another person who has the exact same name. The boy gets surprised as he understands the existence of another Demon Lord. Later that day, they see Verda, and they tell her all what happened in the castle. That smart lady starts explaining that there might be two different dimensions of time, and according to what the little boy at the beginning said. Arda understands that they must kill the other lord in order to keep the true world safe. At night, Lydia calls them to go after another battle. This time, they are going to face one of the strongest demons ever. The boy can remember him easily because in the past life he was forced to kill his best friend Lydia by that demon. This time he decides to change the history and to save her instead of letting things happen again the same way they did long time ago. When they arrive to their destination, it turns out that they are late, and when they find the Demon Lord who they were looking for, this one kills the demon and reveals that he will take the lands he wants and no one will stop them. His word clearly means the war. The leaders make urgent meeting to discuss what happened. After all, they decide to kill that lord because he underestimated their powers by announcing the war and get out with the decision of starting the attack after 3 days. Arda sits in his room thinking about the way to fix the history and save Lydia when suddenly the Demon Lord comes in. It was so unexpected, but this time the lord takes off his mask and surprises Arda. They realize that they are the same person, but coming from different dimensions of time, and the same little boy who calls himself a lord brought them there. After speaking and knowing what they really aim for, they come with one common purpose, which is to save the princess. The Lord gives his hand to Arda and asks to join him and make one plan that will realize their goal. The plan stands on saving Lydia, then making her hate them and kills them. He gives him 3 days to think wisely. The boy takes his time and asks Lydia in person. She reveals that she doesn't deserve to sacrifice his life for her, and her superior reason of living is to make the world more peaceful. At the same time, the other soldiers keep training for the big battle. Then Arda goes to meet the Lord to inform him that he refuses to do the plan because Lydia refused that. The Lord didn't accept the decision and start attacking the boy. Then he shows that he kidnapped the 2 girls, Jenny and Irina. The only way to save them is by realizing the plan, because that lord prefers to end his life only to make his friend happy. The 2 girls try to stop Latima who kidnapped them, and Lydia joins them from nowhere and kills her. When the Lord saw that, he got so angry and started attacking Arda. The fight reached its highest levels, and it ended like it was supposed to end, by giving the victory to the boy and his friends. He couldn't change the history, and Lydia died, but that is not a big deal as soon as the future world does not get affected by that. Thank you all for watching. See you next time with another anime. Take care.